Before starting the video, click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like, comment, and share with other students.
Hello viewers, welcome to the House of Commerce. Today we are going to study the law of returns along with its types, assumptions, schedule, graph, reasons, and economies and diseconomies of scales. So let's start studying. What is law of returns? Number 1, the law of returns operates in the short period. It explains the production behavior of the firm with one factor variable while other factors are kept constant. Number 2, it is implied in the fact that the quantitative definiteness of the effects brought about by any economic good is a necessary condition of its being an economic good. This means that when the other factors of production making one factor constant are increased, then how would the process of production be influenced? So what is production function? A given output can be produced with many different combination of factors of production, land, labor, organizations, or inputs. The output thus is a function of inputs. The functional relationship that exists between physical inputs and physical output of a firm is called production function. Means that a production function describes a relationship between inputs, that is factors of production used in the production process, and output, that is production, that is how much quantity of output you will get from a given quantity of inputs. Production function can be studied in short run as well as in long run. We have got types of law of returns. The laws of returns are categorized into two types. Number 1, the law of variable proportion, seeking to analyze production in the short period. Number 2, the law of returns to scale, seeking to analyze production in long period. What is law of variable proportion? It is also known as law of diminishing returns. According to Stigler, as equal increments of one input are added, the inputs of other productive services being held constant. Beyond a certain point, the resulting increments of product will decrease, that is, marginal product will diminish. It means that if units of variable factor of production, example that is variable factor is labor, are added to the fixed factors of production, example land or capital, that would be fixed factor of production, initially the marginal product of variable inputs will increase. However, after a certain level the marginal product will diminish. We have got the assumptions and schedule. We have got few assumptions. Number 1, short run period. First of all, what is short run? Short run is the period of time during which at least one factor of production must remain fixed. So law is valid in short run so that some factors of production are held constant. Number 2, constant technology. Technology and technique of production should remain same. A more efficient technology or method of production may give different result. Means that if technology improved, then the marginal product could increase also. Number 3, factors of production are homogeneous. Every unit of variable factor of production should be identical in quantity and quality. Here we have got schedule. By the help of schedule, here is a diagram in the below. We have got the columns of fixed factor of production, that is land, variable factor of production, that is labor, and the other columns are total product, which is output, and marginal product, average product. Here we can see that in the diagram, 3 stages, stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. On the x-axis it is the labor, and on the y-axis the productivity. So what these stages states in the explanation, following are the stages of law of variable proportion. Stage 1, is the law of increasing returns. If units of variable factor of production are added to fixed factors of production, initially the marginal product of variable inputs will increase. Due to increasing return, marginal cost of the product also decreases during this stage. This stage is shown in the table from Unit 1 till Unit 4. Stage 2 is the law of decreasing return. If units of variable factor of production are added to fixed factors of production, after a certain point, the marginal product of variable inputs will decrease. The point in which marginal product decreases is the point at which diminishing marginal returns have set in. Due to decreasing return, marginal cost of the product also increases during this stage. This stage is shown in the table from Unit 5. Here is also the third stage. What third stage says that? In the third stage, the total production, which is TP, declines. The TP, which is the total production curve, slopes downward. The MP, which is the marginal product curve, falls to 0 and then it is negative. It goes below to the x-axis with the increase in the use of variable factor, which is labor. Here we have got study tips: marginal product or marginal physical product in the amount of extra output that is produced when one extra worker is added while other inputs are held constant. Number 2, terms product, output and return are synonymously used in economics. Here we have got the reasons for law of variable proportions. In increasing returns to a factor, number 1, better utilization of fixed factor. What is fixed factor? That is capital. Number 2, increased efficiency of variable factor, which is labor. Number 3, indivisibility of fixed factor. What is indivisibility? Indivisibility means that certain factors are available only in some minimum sizes. Certain inputs, particularly machinery, management, etc., are available in large and lumpy units. Such inputs cannot be divided into small sizes to suit the small scale of production. So that is the indivisibility of fixed factor, which is capital. So we have got the diminishing returns to a factor reasons as well. Number 1, optimum combination of factors. Number 2, imperfect substitutes. Reasons for negative returns to a factor. Number 1, limitations of fixed factor, which is capital. And number 2, poor coordination between variable and fixed factor. Number 3, decrease in efficiency of variable factor. So this was the law of variable proportion. Now moving forward to law of returns to scale. Returns to scale and the laws of returns are generally confused to understand when we use the words return to scale. What law of returns to scale states? The law of returns to scale operates in the long period, as the law of variable proportion states operates in the short period. It explains the production behavior of the firm with all variable factors. The law of returns to scale describes the relationship between variable inputs and output when all the inputs or factors are increased in the same proportion. Returns to scale is a long-run concept, as we know, that shows how total output increases due to increase in all input. We have got the phases of returns to scale. We have got 3 phases: increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and on number 3, decreasing returns to scale. We have got the assumptions of the law. What are the assumptions? All the factors of production are variable in law of returns to scale, such as land, labor, capital. Number 2, technology remains constant. Number 3, outputs are measured in physical terms. Number 4, the market is perfectly competitive. Here we have got schedule and the diagram which represent the law of returns to scale. As we can see the columns, scale of inputs, labor and capital in units, total production and marginal production, increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale, and decreasing returns to scale, representing their respective draws. As we can see in the graph, from I to R, from point I to R, it is representing the stage 1, which is increasing returns to scale. It means that if increase in all inputs leads to a more than proportional increase in output, this is called increasing return to scale. It occurs due to economies of scale. From point I to R, it is representing the stage 1. And from R to C, it is representing the stage 2, which is constant returns to scale. As we can see in the below slide, constant returns to scale states if increase in all inputs leads to a proportional increase in output, this is called constant returns to scale. And from point C to D, it is representing the stage 3, which is diminishing returns to scale. And it states it increase in all inputs leads to a less than proportional increase in output. This is called decreasing return to scale. It occurs due to diseconomies of scale. For example, if a firm increases inputs by 100%, but the output decreases by less than 100%, the firm is said to be exhibit decreasing returns to scale. Now moving forward to economies of scale and diseconomies of scale. What is economies of scale? Definition we have got, these are the advantages of large scale production in long run which cause increase in return to scale and decrease in long run average total cost. What is scale of production? Scale of production is the total level at which the goods are produced. It means that economies of scale refer to the factors which through increase in output decrease the cost of production. For instance, if a firm doubles its output but the cost increases less than double, then it would be said that the firm is earning economies of scale. Now, economies of scale are classified into two kinds, internal economies and external economies. What is internal economies of scale? Internal economies of scale arise from within the firm by making efficient use of resources. What are the resources? Number 1, example, mechanical or technical economies. A single large machine is cheaper as compared to many small machines. Number 2, managerial economies. It means that the large business take advantage of employing specialized labor. Number 3, trading or commercial economies. Inputs becomes cheaper when purchased in bulk quantities due to discounts. Number 4, financial economies. Large firms can negotiate loan or issue shares at favorable terms. A large firm, by acquiring the required credit on easy terms and low rate of interest, can curtail the cost of production to a great extent. Such manufacturing firms have the wide share market for them, which motivate the prospective investors to invest. Number 5, risk-bearing economies. Means that the large firms manage or reduce their risk by diversification in products or markets. Every business is subject to risk, but the large-scale producer has the opportunity to shift either partially or sometimes the total risk to others. The large firm can do this because it continues to create innovations in its product which protects the business being uncertain. Now we have got external economies of scale, which is the second kind of economies of scale. These are outside the control of a particular firm and are attained by the member firms due to growth of the industry as a whole. For example, firms may cluster together to perform joint research and development activities, development of a specialized labor force, sharing extra risk with each other, example in insurance companies. So what is diseconomies of scale? These are the disadvantages of large scale production in long run, as firms grows to so large that it becomes difficult to handle them, which cause decrease in return to scale and increase in long run average total cost. Diseconomies is the situation when expansion in the business causes losses rather than profit. Here we have got the factors or reasons of diseconomies of scale. Organizations face following problems when they grow. Number one, managerial inefficiencies. Example, when gap between workers and management increases, it becomes difficult to control them and to motivate them. Number two, inefficiencies in production. Example, not utilizing fixed assets at full capacity, greater wastages. Number three, communication and coordination problems between workers and departments. Number four, delay in decision making. So it was today's lecture of law of returns. We will see you in any other day in any other topic. Till then,